Hey, what's going on YouTube? Adam C here. So this is my 125 breeding tank. I have Champsochromis corallius, known as the Malawi trout, and I have the Mylochromis spilostitius macacola, sometimes also called Cyanochromis. Here's the trout male, and there's the Mylochromis male. So anyway, I've had a bit of a lull in breeding lately. Haven't seen much activity from either of the species. The Mylochromis has probably been 2.5 weeks, which is a long time for them to go without breeding. They're normally fairly prolific. But the trout's probably been 2 months since I've seen any holding females or any activity for that matter at all. So I think the tank's getting a bit stale as far as the layout. So what I'm going to do today is start with a nice big water change, about 75%. I'm going to fill in all these pits they've dug down there. I'm going to move these rocks around, give it a new look. Maybe I will inspire the fish. But then also what I'm doing, and I've actually already started it, is you can see I've got my digital thermometer back there set at 81. Normally I only keep that at about 79.5, maybe 80. But I have noticed sometimes in short spurts, if I raise the water temperature a bit up to 81, 82, it seems to get the fish in the mood a little bit. So the goal here is hopefully I can stimulate these fish into getting back into some breeding action. So let's start by draining out some of this water. Alrighty, so the old trusty pump right there. Emptied the tank out here in about 10 minutes. You can see we got a few inches left here. These guys are all hanging around. So we've got to redo the substrate, we've got to redo this decor, because I've looked at this for too long. So let's switch it up. So we've done some rearranging here. Notice the murky water from stirring up the substrate, could have leveled that all back out. All the fish, pretty common, hanging out one side, you know, pretty scared, but that's common how it is. So you can see the layout of how I switched things out here. And there is a reason that I left the ends with about 14 inches of space on either side. So let's talk about why I did that. The tank is refilled. And man, this is really cloudy. What kind of idiot would show his tank being this cloudy at its worst? Oh wait. Maybe let's wait 12 hours and continue this video. Tank is filled back up. It's been about 12 hours since I did the water change. I let things clear up a little. You can see that the decor is rearranged a little bit, and I always try to keep it in the center, and the reason for that is I want to leave the ends open so the fish have some room over the sand for breeding. I used to kind of scatter my rocks all over the place, scatter the decor, and I noticed when the fish would try to breed, they wouldn't have enough room on the sand. You know, they'd bump into a rock or something, and it would distract them from breeding, and a lot of times they wouldn't follow through on it. So what I do now is I look at my biggest fish in here, which is this Malawi trout. He's probably 7.5, 8 inches, and I try to go, you know, nearly twice their body length and make that big of an opening on either end. So that trout's about 8 inches, so I try to leave 16 inches open on either end. That way I'm sure whenever they do want to breed, you know, that they've got plenty of room to dig out a breeding pit, and they have plenty of space. So when I didn't used to do that, I think it cost me a lot of batches of fry, because the fish would just get totally distracted by not having enough room. They'd be bouncing off those rocks, and it just, you know, they didn't enjoy it. It wasn't conducive to breeding, and this seems to work out a lot better. And they seem to enjoy their sides. Over here on the left side, it's a bit of a bigger opening. This is where the trout always seems to breed at when he does breed. And on the other end over here, it's a little bit smaller on this side, but the Mylochromis always seems to dig out that spot, and he kind of claims that as his. So I'm hoping with these water changes, I'm going to up the water changes from 50%, 60% once a week to probably 40% twice a week, something like that. Maybe even 50% twice a week. I'm just trying to get them going again. Again, I raised the water temperature a degree or two. It's up sitting in the 81, 81.5 degree range. I did have it around 79.5, so the warmer water usually seems to get the fish in the mood a little bit more. So we will see how this does. Thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.